The government's latest announcement on the 20 billion ringgit PEMERKASA stimulus is timely to help cushion the negative impact of MCO 2.0. Ideas welcome the initiatives but caution that an over-reliance on stopgap measures that will negatively impact the country's fiscal position and long-term planned recovery. We speak to Ideas CEO Tricia Yeo.
While we welcome the fact that the government has put forward this new stimulus package in the form of the PEMERKASA, we also feel that this is becoming a trend where there seems to be an over-reliance on stopgap measures to cushion the negative impact of the economic lockdown that we've been facing. So on the one hand, we recognize that the additional cash support is necessary, and in fact, I think this should have perhaps been announced even earlier, even before the MCO2 and the impact of that was starting to feel felt. What it really tells us is that we are an economy that is going to become highly dependent on immediate cash handouts in order for the SMEs and various vulnerable groups to survive.
Tricia also highlighted the need for a longer-term recovery strategy, which she hopes will be addressed in the 12th Malaysia Plan.
The long-term strategies, I think a lot of people have already talked about the whole need to reform the digitalization landscape. So while the government has talked about the importance of 4IR, the research that Ideas has done also shows that it's not being adopted fast enough. I mean, most of the SMEs in Malaysia obviously don't have the capital to do that. And even the capital that is being offered by the government, I think there's still quite like a high barrier that they will not be able to achieve. So that's one. Secondly, I think we need to have a hard look as to the role that the GLCs play in the economy. I think if we want to really move forward in terms of opening up the economy and being more competitive, we need to address the role that GLCs play. Number three, I think we also need to look at our education system. I mean, ultimately, it's all about the human resources that are available to us. The way in which our education system, both at the primary and tertiary levels, currently do not meet the demands of the industry. I think the industry and academia mismatch has gone on for far too long, and therefore we have a pretty high level of graduate unemployment in the country, while at the same time we have this gig economy. But I think a lot more structural acceptance of people who are working in the informal sector and the gig economy, like formalizing these jobs and bringing them back into the system, as well as providing the right kind of social assistance, for example, whether or not they're registered with the EPF and so on. I think that's really necessary.